I opened an email and my body acted like it was literally being haunted. So the key was barely out of the lock before my shoes were off. I just finished a shift at the coffee shop, and it was one of those shifts where it is so exhausting that it doesn't fully hit you until you actually sit down. So I immediately dropped on the couch, picked up my phone, just kind of mindlessly, and opened my email. So what happened next was the first time I actually felt my nervous system in my body. Truly felt it, like head to toe, warm sensation, a flood of terror came over me. And I really had no name for it yet. So I wasn't in danger. It was a Tuesday, late afternoon. I was in my living room, but my nervous system could not even tell the difference. So hi, I'm Alicia Gilbert, and this is the Clarity Studio, where we talk about nervous system safe growth for high capacity women who are building something that lasts. And today we're going to go deep on something I don't think a lot of people in the business space are talking about, and that is what actually happens to your body when you burn out. So not the surface level stuff, but getting to the root of the cause. So stay with me today. We are actually going to be covering a lot. And at the 9-minute mark, I'm going to show you how to actually reprogram your nervous system. I'm going to be pulling from ancient texts, neuroscience, and my yoga background. So that's all three, one video. Sounds like you pulled up to the right place today. Before we get into the science of it all, I want to ask you something. Where does stress show up in your body right now? For me, it has always been the chest, kind of that tightness before a hard conversation, or the shortness of breath that I can't quite, get together. Drop me a comment. I want to know, where does it show up in your body first? Is it the jaw? Is it the chest? Is it the gut? Is it waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning? Something's wrong. I don't know what it is. But whatever it is, drop it below. I'm going to come back to it because the answers matter more than you think. So, okay, let's get into this. Let's talk about what's actually going on. So your nervous system is not some wellness buzzword. It is the operating system of your entire life. And this goes back further than neuroscience. So I'm going to get a little bit geeky here, but the ancient Yoga Sutras, which is one of the oldest ancient texts that talks about the mind-body connection, speaks of the samskaras. These are grooves worn into the body through repeated thought and action. So every time you override your body's sensation to stop, you are deepening that groove. And every time you say yes from fear, you carve it a little further. So the pattern becomes the default, and the default becomes your life. Honestly, I feel like I just spit a bar right there. I'm gonna say it again. The pattern becomes the default, and the default becomes your life. So I'm gonna show you exactly how this shows up in your business in just a minute. So here's what is very interesting to me, and also the part where most business coaches or business advisors skip over because they don't think it's important. But a dysregulated nervous system isn't just affecting your health. It is actively affecting your business because it is coming from a place where your decisions are made. And I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. So let's just level set. It doesn't always look like panic. It doesn't always look like some major breakdown that's happening. It's a little bit sneakier. It can look like undercharging. So I'm not going to generalize here, but women are notoriously bad at this. But the moment you quote your real rate, it's like something freezes in you and you can't even fully say it without deciding to undercut yourself. Something in your chest tightens. Now you're throwing out discounts you didn't even intend to. You may even be shaving off hundreds, dare I say thousands of dollars off your price just because this is a threat response that's coming up and you don't know what to do with it. So your body read ask for what I deserve as danger. And then you made a decision from inside that fear state. Girly pop, okay? You have put time in the game. You've learned your skills, okay? You show up and you help people with the gifting that you've been given and worked for, okay? So do not try to water it down now. You need to send the email, quote the rate, make the offer, and then just let them decide. Overcommitting. All right, we've all done this, but saying no to a client sometimes truly feels dangerous in your body, even though intellectually it's absolutely not. So that is the fawn response. So your system learned that keeping people happy keeps you safe, and it just hasn't gotten updated yet. Staying in a misaligned partnership or collaboration entirely too long. Child, you knew 6 months ago this wasn't right, but leaving felt like a threat your body just wasn't ready to face yet. So you stayed, and you performed, and you quietly fell apart inside. I mean, think about it. When you partner with brands that aren't aligned just for the money, it can feel stressful. Every email from them raises your cortisol, right? Every asset or deliverable starts to feel like some hostage negotiation. Your body was telling you the whole time. You just couldn't afford to listen. Constantly refreshing your metrics. And no, not because numbers change, but your nervous system is in this surveillance loop. So scanning for danger. You're looking for evidence that you are safe, that it is working, and that you are enough. So the refresh isn't curiosity. It is hypervigilance, but on 10. The inability to stop producing. Rest can feel dangerous, and the moment you pause, anxiety begins to fill the room, and what do? You find something productive and new to do. I'm just going to be the first to say that I'm guilty of some of these. So maybe you create a new offer just because you can. Or you do this. You decide to rebrand your whole entire life. Or if you're Notion girly, maybe it's 11 p.m. at night and you're just I need to reorganize everything immediately. And it's not because you need it. And it's not because the business needs it. It's because your nervous system needs the noise. Hear me lovingly, friend. The busyness is not ambition. It is avoidance with the content calendar. And the panic after posting content. To be very real, this just happened to me this week. This just happened publishing the Substack article that is attached to this YouTube video. I told a very personal story at the beginning of it, and I hit publish on something that was real, something that was true to me, and immediately a flood of anxiety just came over my body, and I wanted to delete it. And maybe you check the comments obsessively. Maybe you sit back and wait for someone to tell you you got it wrong. And I just want to let you know that is not imposter syndrome. That is a nervous system that has learned that visibility is danger. And it's the same feeling whether you're posting content or you're saying yes and raising your hand in a meeting and speaking up. And then at 2 a.m. you're laying in bed oh my God, I should have rephrased that. I should have said it differently. Oh, did I sound stupid? It's the same thing. Here's what I believe. And I mean this as someone who has sat with both a yoga mat and a Bible. Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Okay, so what I heard there is not some things, everything. So your pricing, your boundaries, who you choose to be in relationship with, and who you choose to let close. And that goes for whether you decide to rest or muscle your way through the situation. So the Bible uses the word heart just as we use nervous system. So it is the seat of our deepest patterns. So it is what we believe about ourselves underneath what we say we really believe about ourselves. Make sense? Okay, and one of my favorite verses, Jeremiah 17:9, because it does not soften it at all. It says the heart is deceitful above all things. Yikes. Meaning left untended, your heart will convince you that rest is laziness, that your output is equal to your worth, and that slowing down means falling behind. I've been reading up on the work of Dr. Carolina Leaf, who is a neuroscientist who has been documenting for decades how thoughts produce real, measurable, and physical reactions in our body. And this is so mind-blowing because it backs up everything. What you think on, you truly become in your body, in your cells, in your choices, in your actions. Think on these things. And before we move further, because I already know what some of y'all are thinking, this is not just positive thinking and toxic positivity. This is nervous system hygiene that was written thousands of years ago before we just actually had language for it. Philippians 4:8, it says, think on these things. Whatever is right, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, help me out, whatever is pure. Think on these things. That was a neuroscience reprogramming instruction before we actually had language for it. What controls your heart sets the direction for your nervous system. What runs your nervous system is running your life. If you are watching this video still and you're like nodding along, like, yes, that makes sense, but you're not quite sure where this is showing up for you just yet, I built something for that. It is a clarity quiz. It is free to take. It takes only about 3 minutes, and it will tell you exactly what patterns are running you right now. Whether that's low capacity, whether that's overthinking, whether it's avoidance, it will give you the next steps to take based on where you are currently. So the link is below in the description. It's free. Take it after you finish watching this video. And I promise you, it will make all of this, what we're talking about, our little chat today, it'll make it land a little bit differently. Okay, now to some fun stuff. How do we reprogram ourselves out of this? And so I want to be clear. This is not, again, about positive thinking your way out of a physiological pattern. This is about tending to what's been planted at the root. So here's how this actually looks. Breath, the one thing that is always with you. We'll tap into that first. So a slower exhale that is a longer than your inhale actually signals to the nervous system that you are safe. So you want to inhale for 4. You want to exhale for a count of 6 to 8, and try this for about 3 to 4 rounds. And I promise you, your nervous system and your body cannot sustain a threat response when you're breathing like this. And what's really dope about this is you could do it right now. You could do it in the parking lot. You can even do it before a hard conversation. It is very accessible to you. So grounding. Touch grass. You hear it all the time. Skin contact with something that is solid and still. Your body responds to sensations, right? So give it something real, solid to orient to. ETF tapping, emotional freedom technique. You're gonna tap acupuncture points across the face and across the body while naming what you're feeling. So gentle taps just like this, in a nice rhythmic pattern. So it sounds strange until it works. Then we don't care how it sounds. And the most simple one, rest, and not as a reward, but as a practice. God himself rested. He wove Sabbath into the structure of creation as a rhythm, not as a suggestion. Your nervous system is asking for what was always meant to be yours. He gives sleep to those he loves. Psalms, something. So just know that receiving rest is not weakness. It is actually one of the highest forms of obedience. I asked you earlier where stress shows up in your body first, and here's why it matters. When you feel those signals, that is one of the earliest signs that your body is giving you. It is trying to communicate with you before your mind actually catches up. And learning to recognize it, not fight it, but recognize it, is one of the first aha moments in how you begin to kickstart this whole thing. So if you haven't dropped a comment yet about where you're feeling stress first, drop it below in the comments. Jaw first, chest. Trust me, I read every single one. And if this video is naming something that you have been feeling, please go check out my Substack. I have the full essay that is up there. And this is honestly one of the most personal pieces that I've written so far. You are 10 toes down, ready to do the work. I'm launching my Clarity Labs, which is our first beta program. Doors open May 20th, and it is 8 intentional spots for 8 women who are ready to move, 5-week program, and we expect real results here. So the link for all of those things are below in the description. And if you are new here, subscribe, fam. I would love to see you. Join our community, the Clarity Studio. But I will see you on the next one.